Good morning, doctor and friend. My name is Peng Yushen and my matrix number is 292096. Now I want to present about the issue summaries of the 1MDB. The Satu Malaysia Development Berhad, also called as the 1MDB, was established by the Najib Razak in the year of 2009. And also in this year, he has become the Prime Minister of the Malaysia. In the initial, the 1MDB was established to attract the foreign investment and also the partnership to aim to stimulate the Malaysia economic development. And in this case, has included the Najib and his wife Rosma Mansor, and also another key person, which is Joh Low. He is the main character that has organized all these financial fraud that using the shell companies and the bank account in the several countries. The 1MDB case has involved the improper and illegal use of the 4.5 billion of dollar from the Malaysian National Investment Fund and also violation of the international law. This scandal has been filed in the 2015. It has happened that start by when the reporter at the Sarawak Report website and also the Wall Street Journal has received a large number of the leaked document that is all about the inside information of the 1MDB. This has made the Malaysian government and also the authority in the US, the Switzerland, and the Singapore that has formed a special team to investigate it. They has write to the office of the 1MDB and they also uncover how hundreds of millions of dollars were they used to buy the luxury goods and their lavish spending. But after that, this investigate into the 1MDB scandal was stopped, but without any explanation given to the public. Until the 2018, the Mahathir Mohamad has defeated Najib and he has become the new Prime Minister of the Malaysia. He has promised that will continue to investigate the 1MDB case and make this case into the focus to the public. The authorities searched for the Najib home and found a lot of luxury goods, the jewelry and also the cash. Then the Najib and his wife and the Riza Aziz, which is his stepson, that they have been charged with the money laundering and also embezzlement. The 1MDB funds that related to the bank account that has more than 14 was frozen and also they were blacklisted from leaving from the Malaysia. In the February of the 2020, the Najib was convicted of the charge in the abuse of office, the money laundering and also criminal breach of the trust. Then finally, he was convicted to 12 years of jail and fined 210 ringgit million.
I'm Lee Jia-yun, number metric 297726. Next, I will present how utilitarianism applies to the 1MDB corruption scandal. First, I will explain about the concept of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is an ethical principle that emphasizes on selecting an action that can maximizing overall happiness and well-being. It is a consequence-based theory, meaning that the rightness or the wrongness of an action is based on its outcome. Next, I will relate the utilitarianism with 1MDB scandal. The first scenario is that there is a fund of 681 million US dollar, which is officially known as donation from Saudi royalty, but in fact, the fund has been transferred into the former Prime Minister Najib Razak's personal bank account. Rather than being used for social benefit, the funds were spent on luxury items and political campaign instead of public welfare, like providing healthcare subsidy or providing scholarship. The second scenario, Joh Low established a shell company named Alba Investment PJS Limited, which has similar name with the real Alba Investment that without the word limited. Fraudulently obtained 576.94 million US dollar from Golden Search. The fund has been misused, ultimately resulting a 2.7 billion US dollar losses for Malaysia, which led to depreciation of the ringgit Malaysia and increased national debt, downgrade of Malaysia credit rating, harming the economic growth. Moreover, the YNDB scandal has led to damage in public trust. Citizens question the accountability and integrity of the democratic institution and result in a political instability. And Najib has lost in his upcoming election. As a social harmony decline, law enforcement credibility has been weakened and increasing the risk of crime. In conclusion, YNDP scandal completely contradicts with utilitarianism because instead of achieving the greatest good for the greatest number, it benefits the minority while harming the nation as a whole, economically, socially, and ethically.
I am Adeline. In this session, I will apply Aristotle's virtue ethics to analyze the 1MDB scandal, one of the most serious political corruption cases in Malaysian history. Aristotle believed that the goal of human life is eudaimonia. This is achieved not through wealth or pleasure, but through living virtuously with honesty, integrity, wisdom, and justice. A virtuous person, according to Aristotle, acts with moral character and practical wisdom. They do the right thing at the right time for the right reason, not out of fear of punishment, but because it reflects who they are. In contrast, the 1MDB scandal highlights a several deficiency in moral character, particularly in the action of the Prime Minister Najib Razak and financial Jolo. Instead of acting with integrity and responsibility, they acted with selfishness and greed. Billions of dollars were stolen from a fund meant to support Malaysian development. This action clearly violated the core virtues of honesty, justice, and prudence. Najib Razak's conduct is a clear example of dishonesty and lack of integrity. Investigation revealed that he transferred around 700 million into his personal account. Later, when evidence emerged, he said that the money came from the Saudi royal family, an explanation that was truly discredited. This behavior violated the Aristotelian virtue of truthfulness. A virtuous leader must be authentic and committed to the truth, regardless of consequences. Aristotle argued that the public leaders must use their power with integrity for the benefits of the people, not for the personal enrichment. However, Najib used the public fund to protect himself, misused legal institutions and public trust. Aristotle also emphasized temperance or moderation. A virtuous person controls their desire, especially when it comes to wealth and pleasures. Najib failed the test by using the fund to buy luxury real estate, yachts, jewelry, and fund Hollywood films. His action was driven by excess and indulgence, which are clear signs of vice. A truly virtuous leader is guided by wisdom, justice, honesty, and humility. They use power to service others and promote the common good. Najib's behavior was the opposite. He denied wrongdoing, evaded responsibility, and used power for personal gains.
Good day everyone, my name is Tong Xiao Shen and my metric number is 292607. Now I will continue to the ethics of principle and rights. So what is ethics of principle and rights? It focuses on protecting individual rights and universal moral standard. It also emphasizes justice, fairness, and respect of humanity in decision making, and requires action and policies to uphold freedom, equality, and autonomy. For the ethical violation, misuse of public funds meant for Malaysian economic development, violated integrity, which leaders abuse power for personal gain. For example, ex-Prime Minister Najib Razak was convicted for abuse of power, money laundering, and criminal breach of trust, which he received 42 million ringgit Malaysia in his personal account. While for the rights perspective, public trust was broken. Taxpayer money was misused for personal luxury and money laundering. There were some consequences. The first is damage Malaysian international reputation and hurt economic stability and public services.
Good day everyone, my name is Chojami and my metric number is 292441 and I will continue with ethics of accepting gift. Giving or gift means a situation where someone receives something of value such as property, money, and another benefit from another person. Gift giving can strengthen relationships but must not compromise integrity. In politics, accepting gifts may lead to bias, conflict of interest, or corruption. Malaysian law prohibits public officials from accepting gifts linked to their duties. Ethical gift acceptance requires transparency, no expectation of return, and no influence on decision. We can see the example of the 1MDB case shows how lack of transparency damaged public trust and national reputation. 1MDB scandal involving former Prime Minister Najib Razak. He received $681 million, claiming it was a donation. However, the lack of clear explanation and personal bank transfer led to serious ethical concerns and damaged Malaysia's reputation. He strongly argued that the gift did not influence his decision-making or affect his integrity and transparency in the federal institution. So from this in conclusion, public officials must be careful and follow ethical rules when receiving the gifts. Transparency and integrity are essential to maintain public trust.
The next one is ethics of upholding trust. Trust is the foundation of good relationship and a functioning society. Breach of trust, like fraud and lying, will lead to financial harm, reputation damage, and loss of market stability and investor confidence. A major breach of trust in 1MDB scandal, which is government betrayed public trust, over $4.5 million stolen from Malaysian Development Fund. Funds misused for personal and political gain instead of national development. The global impact and institutional trust broken. Goldman Sachs' role. It helps sell bonds, enabling money laundering and fund misappropriation. Fined $2.9 billion in 2020 for violating anti-bribery laws. This led to some consequences like damages Malaysian international reputation, weaken trust in global financial system, show how ethical failures cross border and harm global partnership.
Now I will be discussing the concept of justice and fairness through the lens of philosopher John Rawls and how his theory applies to the 1MDB corruption scandal in Malaysia. John Rawls proposed a model for a just society built on two core principles. His first principle is that everyone should have equal basic liberty, such as freedom of speech, the right to vote, and protection under the rule of law. The second is the difference principle, which states that the social and economic inequalities are only acceptable if they benefit the least advantaged members of society. To imagine fairness, Rawls also introduced the idea of well of ignorance. This means designing society's rules as if we didn't know our place in it, either it's rich or poor, powerful or powerless. Now let us apply this theory to the 1MDB scandal. The equal liberty principle was clearly violated by the Prime Minister at the time, Najib Razak. He used state power to avoid legal scrutiny. He removed the Attorney General and blocked investigation. This means that laws did not apply equally to everyone, violating the principle of the rule of law. Now let us look at the difference principle. Rawls said that any inequality must benefit the least advantaged. In the 1MDB case, the opposite happened. Billions of dollars were stolen and used to buy yachts, jewelry, and fund Hollywood movies. Meanwhile, everyday Malaysia, especially the poor, had to bear the financial burden. The government increased taxes and public debt rose. The GST introduced in 2015 hit low-income citizens the hardest. This massive misuse of funds did nothing to help the disadvantaged. It only made their life harder.
Salam and have a good day, everyone. My name is Ko Zhao Chong. My meeting number is 291844. I am going to explain what is the deontology is. Deontology is a duty-based ethical system that identifies what is right and what is wrong based on the universal moral law. And the moral action of individual must follow the universal moral laws such as do not lie, do not steal, and do not deceive. And categorical imperative is a center of deontology where people only act according to principles that can be accepted as a universal laws for everyone. For example, if somebody throw garbage on the ground, they should ask if everyone did the same. If everyone do the same thing, the environment will be dirty. So this cannot be universal law. According to one NDP case, Najilata and Jola have a higher education background, have committed fraud and corruption for the company. This action cannot be universal. If everyone do like this, the society will collapse. Can argue that are still morally wrong even if the stolen farms have positive impact on economic growth to Malaysia. Therefore, those involved in the 1ADP case feel carry out their duty and responsibility. Thank you.
Now I want to present about the lesson from this 1MDB case. For me, if I am a government official, when I'm facing with any corruption and the scandal case, I will report it to the official authorities such as the MACC and also the anti-corruption bodies. I would follow with the legal procedure to deal with this matter. Through this way can safeguard my own safety and also be able to report it in the anonymous manner. This can help to maintain the good image and also make the public have more confidence to the government that has taken the anti-corruption in seriously. And next, for the government, I think the most important thing is to enhance their accountability and also the transparency. So they must report regularly, clearly, and also openly to the public on their expenses and some of the major financial projects. This will prevent the people from the misusing the public fund, and also corruption is less likely to occur.
So for the conclusion, the 1MDB scandal is a powerful ethical case study showing how corruption can quietly undermine governance when moral principles are ignored. It was not just about money. It revealed a deep failure in leadership and accountability. From a utilitarian view, the harm done to the nation far outweighed any personal gain. Future ethics highlight the lack of honesty and responsibility in leadership, while deontology reminds us that leaders brought their duty to serve the public. This scandal also violated the ethics of justice and fairness as powerful individuals avoided consequences, and right ethics by putting private interests above citizens' rights. Ultimately, the biggest loss was trust, the very foundation of good governance. So the lesson is clear that ethics in leadership is not optional. It is essential for building a society rooted in justice, integrity, and public trust. That's all for our group. Thank you.